Okay, so in the last video we had seen how we can create a URL shortener which works without a database, but it works only as long as the server is running because the state is saved on the RAM. So basically, you go to this website, you write mywebsite.com, click on submit, you get this particular link, localhost 4000/2R05, and if we open this link, it redirects to mywebsite.com. Um, how it works is basically it has got two functions, one called shorten, one called expand. In shorten, it creates the shortcode, saves it to a RAM object called code or code map. It's an in-memory object, and when expanding, it gets the shortcode from there and expands it, redirects you to that particular URL. I'm going to add support for a database here so that this becomes stateless in nature and can work even when the server reboots or anything like that. I need to persist this. So I'm going to use MySQL as the database here, and I will be using SQLize as my database driver, which is a ORM. So I haven't used SQLize before. I use directly the Node MySQL module, but I'm just going to use SQLize now because it's going to be quicker to write the code. So let's see how it's supposed to be used. Is I am going to use it with MySQL. So here goes. SQLize and MySQL. Great. Then we need to create, I'll create a separate file here called db.js. Okay. And I'll do what's mentioned here is var SQLize equal to new SQLize database username password host dialect, and so let's do this. So what I need is I need to import SQLize, of course, first. Const SQLize equal to require SQLize var SQLize equal to new SQLize, and my database name is short URL. My username is also short URL. My password is also short URL. Host is at localhost. My dialect is MySQL. Let's keep pool of 5 and 0, idle of 10 seconds timeout. This is not needed. So whereas my database is basically hosted somewhere here. I guess I don't need to put my port here. I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, so this my database is called short URL, the one that you can see here, and there is a user called short URL which has got access to this database. All kinds of permissions are given. Okay, so I don't need this to be open here. Let me just check. So to create models using this method here, var user equal to sequelize.define user, first name, last name, all of this stuff. So what I need to do is I need URL equal to sequelize.define sequelize.define URL. That's the name of the table. Then I have to define the keys here. Keys are going to be I need long URL, which would be type sequelize string. String. I guess that's it. Giving a field is not required because it will use the name of this variable if anything is not defined. So I need to check out how to set keys. How to set keys basically. I guess I can set primary key equal to true. So I want code type should be sequelize dot there's integer, I guess. Yeah, we got integer, primary key true. So as soon as I said primary key true, it means there is no way to add a null value here anyway. I'm not keeping it auto incremental. Okay, so these are all the types that we can set here, string, integer, and all of them. So here we go. Then the first model. Okay, let us export this. So export a URL here, and so basically
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me call sequelize.sync, which will create the tables if required. Mm, and then I need a couple of functions here. Model.exports, add URL, so how will this work is a bit like this. User.create, let's see how to user.create. This is how it should work actually. Done and failed are two callbacks we should have if there is an error and there is not an error. So URL dot create code equal to code, long URL should be long URL. Okay. Now that it's created, then there is a then function. Create dot then. Okay. This should log out the value of the user here. URL. When I create a shortcode, it should save it to the database. Instead of doing this, what it should do is I need to require my DB. DB dot add URL. There's another thing, I need to change this code to an integer. What I will do is I will use this library that I have my own library. I just created this in the morning itself. It's called convert radix 64. What it does is converts numbers from radix 64 to decimal. I will just install that. npm install save convert radix 64. Awesome. So I'll have this radix 64 converter. So my code would turn into add URL r dot from 64 code will turn into, then long URL will go here, and just do this one up, and let's see what happens if we run this. Refresh this. Submit, and now if we look at our database, not this, front URL, table URLs, so I got this code 15498154. Long URL is this, created at this particular instance. Why is number 15498154? Because that is basically the encoding of this string x7kg. Okay, now let me just add another one, say google.co.in, submit. Now if I run that query again, I have got two values, 154 okay. So we're getting integers like this. Now we don't need the code map anymore. Basically, if we want to retrieve a URL, we want to retrieve it from this particular database. What we'll do is fetch URL, a function called fetch URL, which takes a code and returns accordingly. So URL dot so I have to find, and to find I think can use find by ID. Methods did not have a okay. I'll create a where query like this. I'll get a code